Hello all you people out there, and welcome to my newest Let's Play of Pikmin 2. For the longest time, this was actually my favorite game of all time, and I'm really excited to stream this one. Let's begin. Hokotate Freight is a long-haul deep space shipping company. One day, its only employee of any merit, Captain Olimar, crashed on an uncharted planet while on an interstellar vacation. There, he was aided by indigenous creatures which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. But in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hokotate Freight, ran into financial difficulties. It's the man himself, Captain Olimar, and his planet, Hokotate. His company, Hokotate Freight, the president of Hokotate Freight, and local employee, Louis. Olimar, I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad, quite glad, but sadly, I have an announcement that is not so glad. Our company is going under. Yes, we're finished. On his first mission, Louis here met a ravenous space bunny, and his entire load of golden Pikmin carrots were eaten. I took out an enormous loan to repay the debt from this loss. I decided to sell off corporate assets to repay the loan. But the only asset we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan, we have no means to repay it. Olimar, what is that? Have you been drinking and driving? You brought that back as a souvenir for your kid? Treasure, 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 money, 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 money. Initiating valuation of recovering your treasure. This artifact is worth 100 pokos. That thing's worth 100 pokos? That's more than a year's salary. What? There are more on that planet? They can repay our debt. Louis, you dolt! Look alive! You must depart immediately with Captain Olimar. Around the meteor this time. Bye, Louis. Hopefully falling and crashing into the ground at terminal velocity won't be enough to injure him. Berserk, that was close. I have averted a crash landing. Running diagnostics. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing. He must somehow fallen out of the cockpit. He is not responding via his communicator. He is either flouting protocol or in danger. Olimar, you must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wait a moment, look! Could these be Pikmin? They look as though they are about to be devoured as we speak. You must help them, quickly. Press B to call them with your whistle, Captain Olimar. You can also hold B to make the sound of your whistle carry farther, remember? You got it, Chip. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Give them instructions, and do not delay. Hold A to grab a Pikmin, and release to throw it. Now, useless Pikmin fact number 1. No matter what I do here, this guy cannot eat my Pikmin. He is a harmless red dwarf Bulborb, yet he must be slain. Rest in peace, good Bulborb. If ever there was one. Attention, Captain Olimar. I have just re-established my communications link with Louis. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm his safety. Press Y to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. I mean, our company's going under. We can't support health insurance. Who's gonna pay for that? Louis, allow me to assess your condition as per our safety protocols. Are you injured at all? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. Press start/pause to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. Alright. Crash landed in the Valley of Repose as Louis. Aha! There's a sight for sore eyes. Louis, the odd object before you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. Louis really bugging the sight of this sprout. Louis, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. You can use C-Stick to issue objectives to your Pikmin squad and even direct their movement. You can disband your squad with X. Interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling Pick carrots was strikingly accurate. Louis, my sensors have detected drool in the corner of your mouth. Are you alright? What are you staring at me for? Alright, let's build up our numbers a bit. As Louis on his own, I can punch the pellet posies and knock them down. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from that flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, haul them to the onion, and further propagate the species. The onion is a Pikmin mothership. Reviewing Captain Olimar's report, it seems repeatedly tapping A lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. Pluck a few more and then use them. Carry those back. This guy can get on this one. Compared to Pikmin 1, the controls are much more refined, and I'm able to throw Pikmin faster than ever, which is really nice. Captain Olimar retains his original whistle sound. Louis got a sort of like train whistle. his marching tunes also with a different instrument. Really nice touch. Okay, we have a lot of Pikmin now. I don't think there are any more pellet posies nearby. Ooh! I do believe that is a Duracell brand Duracell, sponsored by Duracell. Perhaps this object is one of the treasures we are searching for. The only reason we found it here is because this is where you crash landed. How fortunate. I would like to appraise it, but you must regroup with Olimar first. Can you see him? Press L to move your camera, or move the camera behind you, R to zoom, and Z to change angles. That's right, L lets us focus the camera behind, R to zoom, Z to change angles. Although they took out the first-person view that I was in Pikmin 1. I believe if you held Z, then you were able to get into first-person view. Which is kind of unfortunate. I really want like a mod of this game where you can... where the whole game is just in first person. I feel like that would be really cool. Anyway, reunited at last. Captain Olimar, Louis, you are reunited at last. Alright, take the words right out of my mouth, ship. This has been a troublesome start to our trip. But now you must feel assured that your combined wits can get you through anything, correct? Right, well, combined wits, we got like 1 in Olimar and maybe half in Louis, so we're operating at about 1.5 brain power here. From now on, use B to form a single group, X to take solo action, and Y to change leaders. So B lets us call Louis to our side. We can switch captains with Y, and disbanding the group also disbands the captains until he's called back to our group with B, just as the ship said. So I'm gonna get 6 on that. And the dead bulborb there. We got a bag blocking this way. That's got 35, and I do not believe that the dwarf red bulborb will be providing us with an additional 19 Pikmin. So let's get the rest of them digging up this Duracell brand D battery. Duracell, if you ever watch this, what are you doing? Aha. We need 20 Pikmin in total to carry. We've got 10 on this, 6 on the dwarf red bulborb, and I would be most certainly willing to wager that that will provide at least 4 additional Pikmin. Four exactly. You'll notice Pikmin sprout much faster than in the first game. Overall, this game feels... the controls feel more tight and refined, and a lot of the slower parts of Pikmin 1 have really been sped up. Bum rushing is now no longer the optimal choice of attacking, at least for like large bulborbs. It's pretty fast to actually throw them now, which is really nice. And I'm sure that was the intended way to begin with, but I mean, you can't really underestimate the power of the bum rush, at least in Pikmin 1. Of course, Pikmin 3 Deluxe Edition will be dropping the end of next month. And you know for certain that I will be getting that, and I'll probably play that as a Let's Play too, when that comes out. That'll be a fun time. So not all things bad here at the Valley of Repose. Got a neat little Duracell battery. Reunited with our red Pikmin friends. And it looks like this is going to be One heck of an adventure. Courage Reactor. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. I took the liberty of naming it when I appraised it. The name reflects my current thinking. Leave it to me to think up catchy names for hit products. It is but one of my many talents. We shall end our first day here and report back to our president. His face will surely be joyous. However, to communicate with Hokotate, we must fly into low orbit above the planet. We will not return to the surface until morning, so as to avoid the indigenous nocturnal creatures. Got our funds earned screened. Just got one treasure today. Here's our Pikmin total. Yikes. Lots of hazards we're going to be seeing. Lots of ways to lose Pikmin. Let's see how far we can get without losing one. And instead of Olimar's journal, we've got mail from back home. You found your first bit of treasure. Fine work. Our future depends on your efforts, so check your treasure hold regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace. Leave it to the president to keep us on track. So now here's the main menu, the stage select, and you notice above in the top left and top right corners we've got the Picklepedia and treasures. The Picklepedia is one of my favorite favorite features in any game. Here is kind of like, so you remember that like the enemy parade at the end of Pikmin 1? So the Picklepedia is an encyclopedia of all the enemies and treasures that you've come across. Here you can throw pick carrots. You can also do a couple other things, but I'll show those off later when they become relevant. Aside from that, you've got Olimar's notes. And spoiler alert, there are Louie's notes too. And he kind of just goes over how to like eat all of the things you come across. If you're just starting a new file, you won't have access to Louie's notes until pretty much at the very end of the game. So if you don't see them, that's definitely why. But if you beat the game with any file on a memory card, then you'll have access to Louie's notes, even if the game you start is new. Or if you start a new game, would be an easier way of saying that. So anyway, here's Olimar's notes. Dwarf Red Bulborb, Pancerus Pseudoculi russus, breadbug family. Although initially identified as a juvenile red bulborb, groundbreaking new research indicates that this creature is in fact a member of the breadbug family. A close relative to the vanilla breadbug, it escapes predation through mimicry. Unique adaptation of the red bulborb's crimson coloration allows the species to safely commingle. Such effective adaptation and obfuscation by a prey species is rare, indicating this clever creature is a master of mimicry. And here we've got the Pellet Posy, Amplus nutrio, pellet weed family. In the stem of the Pellet Posy, one can observe the muscle fiber unique to half-plant, half-animal species, such as the Pikmin and candy pop flowers. So the Pellet Posy is a species that can be considered a close relative. Although the ability to crystallize nectar is unique to a small group of the pellet weed family, the fact that these plants reach maturity so quickly and that their pellets contain such a high concentrations of the natural nutrients in the soil explains why the Pikmin and so many of the other indigenous species are so reliant on these pellets for sustenance. Yeah, Olimar goes full in depth with the scientific notes. Meanwhile, let's check out Louie's notes. On a quest for the perfect hors d'oeuvres? Slow cook this plant in a wood fire oven, but be careful to only serve the tender pellet. And this one. For a blissful bisque, mince the entire beast finely and stir in with heavy cream, artichoke hearts, and a pinch of black pepper. Heat slowly until piping hot. Mmm, rich and creamy. So yeah. And over here, here's the treasure hoard. This is where we'll be able to see all the treasure we found on our journey. So far, all we have is the courage reactor. And here, we only have Olimar's journal. We've recovered our first treasure. Amazingly, the Pikmin remembered how to salvage it. I can't understand their adorable language, and I don't know what they're thinking, yet I'm so happy to see them. When I crash-landed on this planet, the Pikmin helped me locate my missing ship parts. In my darkest hour, the Pikmin were there for me. Now that I'm reunited with them, I know everything will be alright. It will. Right? That takes care of that. Next time on Let's Play Pikmin 2, we'll be heading back to the Valley of Repose, looking for more treasures there. See y'all then.